we should always remember that we shouldn't be making foolish mistakes based on emotions. We happen to be carried away by emotions and at times, and we make mistakes. And this was exactly the mistake which Brutus has made in the drama Julius Caesar, written by William Shakespeare. Yes, you are attending teacher Shumana's class, and this is your Julius Caesar class, and I'm going to continue with my teaching. Now, what was the mistake Brutus has made? First of all, Brutus, we know that he has overruled Cassius thrice before Caesar's murder. What were the 3 occasions? He did not allow the conspirators to take an oath according to according to the idea given by Cassius. Secondly, he refused to take in Cicero and consider him as one of the conspirators. And thirdly, he has allowed Mark Antony to outlive Caesar because Cassius wanted Mark Antony to die also along with Caesar. So those were the 3 mistakes before Caesar's death. Now, after Caesar's death, Brutus makes another very severe mistake by overruling Cassius. Cassius actually does not want Brutus to allow Mark Antony to talk in the funeral of Julius Caesar, and Brutus refuses to listen to that. He feels that Mark Antony should be allowed to talk, and he extends the hand of friendship to Mark Antony. Well, what do you think? Don't you think Brutus is being much too lenient and that he should have listened to Cassius? Well, let's see what happens eventually. We are in Act 3, Scene 2. We are starting it. Act 3, Scene 2. The Forum. Enter Brutus and Cassius with the plebeians. Plebeians are the commoners. Plebeians, we will be satisfied. Let us be satisfied. Brutus says, then follow me and give me audience, friends. Cassius, go you into the other street and part the numbers. That is, divide the number of plebeians who are here, and you take a few of them and leave some with me. Those that will hear me speak, let them stay here. Those that will follow Cassius, go with him, and public reasons shall be rendered of Caesar's death. Brutus goes to the speaker's rostrum. First plebeian, I will hear Brutus speak. Second plebeian, I will hear Cassius and compare their reasons, when severally we hear them rendered. That is, a few agree to stay and listen to what Brutus wants to say, and a few are willing to go and listen to what Cassius has to say. And they are saying that, and he's saying that the plebeian is saying that, and then we will consider what each of them has said separately. That is, severally means separately. When we hear them rendered, that when we hear the speeches rendered, we will consider them separately and discuss and understand and analyze what they have said separately. All right. Exit Cassius with some of the plebeians. Third plebeian, the noble Brutus is ascended. Silence. Okay, so he asks everybody to be silent because noble Brutus has ascended the rostrum, and he wants him, and the people there, they want him to speak and give them the justification about the murder of Julius Caesar. Now Brutus says, be patient till the last. Romans, countrymen and lovers, be patient till the last means be patient till my speech is ended. Please be quiet and be patient till then. Romans, countrymen and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. That is, hear me for my cause. I have to give you the reason of Caesar's murder. Please hear me for that. And you have to be silent in order that you may be able to hear things clearly. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect for mine honor, and awake your senses. That is, believe me for my honor, that is, whatever I am saying is the truth, and you awake your senses that you may better judge, that you may understand better, that you may judge better of whatever I am trying to say. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say that Brutus's love to Caesar was no less than his. Funny indeed. He has killed Caesar, and now he is saying that if there is any person in the crowd who has loved Caesar very much, well, Brutus claims that his love was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, that is, if then that friend stand up to say, why have you killed him? If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves, than that Caesar were dead and live all free men? Brutus is trying to justify that if Caesar would have continued living, all the people of Rome would have been converted to slaves, and they would have to die as slaves. So he is telling them that isn't this a better option, that Caesar is now dead and that we can all live as free men? He is saying that, well, as Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. Well, he's saying as he was ambitious, I slew him. I've killed him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Oh. So this is the justification Brutus is giving, that he along with the conspirators have killed Caesar. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? That is, bondman is a slave. That is, who is here so base that would be a bondman? How many of you, is there anybody here who is so low that you would want to die as a bondman, as a slave, that you would want to become a slave? If any speak, that is, in case there is any in the crowd who wants to be a bondman, then I have wronged that bondman. What he is saying, who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for him have I offended. That is, if a person is here amongst the crowd who is willing to be a slave, then I should be that, then him have I offended. Then I have really offended that person. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? That is, who is here so rude, so vulgar, that the person will refuse to be a Roman? If any speak, for him have I offended. It is for that person that I have offended, that I have definitely offended by killing Caesar. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? Is there anybody here who will not love his country? If any speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply. To which all say, none, Brutus, none. That is, whatever you say, that is, none of us would want to be a bondman. All of us love Rome, and we'd love to be a Roman. And we definitely love our country, Rome. And we love our country. And so, there is none here who is against your idea of killing Caesar, and we are all accepting it, whatever you have said. So Brutus says, then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. That is, then I have offended nobody. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol, his glory not extenuated, wherein he was worthy, nor his offences enforced, for which he suffered death. So the question, so if I have no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus, well, if you have loved Brutus, if you have loved Caesar, then I have also. Brutus says, then whatever my feelings were for Caesar, your feelings are also. The question of his death is enrolled in the Capitol, his glory not extenuated. It is not lessened. His glory is not lessened. Wherein he was worthy, nor his offences enforced. Whatever he was worthy of, we are all accepting, and nor his offences enforced, for which he suffered death. Like, we are not enforcing any offense upon him. He has done everything, and we have given him his punishment in the form of death, and that's all. But otherwise we respect Caesar. Enter Antony and others with Caesar's body. Here comes his body mourned by Mark Antony, who though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying. He will a place in the commonwealth. That is, Brutus says that here comes Mark Antony with the body of Caesar, and so though he had no hand in his death, he still is bringing the body. It is his goodness, and we have granted him a position in the country, a place in the commonwealth. He has got a position in a rightful place in the free republic. With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself, when it shall please my country to need by death. That is, I have kept the same dagger for myself, because if I may become as aggressive as Julius Caesar, then one day my countrymen may need to use this dagger against me and kill me. With this all, everybody says, live Brutus, live, live. First plebeian says, bring him with triumph home unto his house. Second says, give him a statue with his ancestors. Third plebeian says, let him be Caesar. Fourth says, Caesar's best parts shall be crowned in Brutus. First plebeian, we'll bring him to his house with shouts and clamors. Brutus says, my countrymen. Second plebeian says, peace, silence, Brutus speaks. First plebeian says, peace, ho. Brutus says, good countrymen, let me depart alone, and for my sake stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse and grace his speech. That is, do justice and to grace to Caesar's corpse, and allow Mark Antony to speak and listen to whatever he has to say, tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony by our permission is allowed to make. That is, Mark Antony is going to talk of Caesar's triumphs, his glories, and he is allowed to talk about Caesar with our permission. Who are R? They are, O-U-R-R, they are the conspirators. Those who have killed Caesar. Brutus says that they have given Mark Antony the permission to talk to the commoners on the occasion of the funeral of Julius Caesar. I do entreat you, that is, I am requesting you, not a man depart. Please, not a man should depart from here. Please don't go away from this place until and unless you have heard Mark Antony deliver his speech on the occasion of the funeral of Julius Caesar. First plebeian says, stay ho and let us hear Mark Antony. Third plebeian says, let him go up to the public chair. We'll hear him. Noble Antony, go up. Antony says, for Brutus's sake, I am beholden to you. That is, I am indebted to you for Brutus's sake. Actually, he has been given a chance to talk. And if you remember, that Mark Antony has promised to Caesar's spirit, the body lying there, before it was brought to the marketplace, that he will do everything to bring justice, to get justice done to Caesar. So he is being, in a way, a bit sarcastic and modest, that he is saying, for Brutus's sake, I am beholden to you. Next he goes to the rostrum, or the dais from which he is going to deliver the speech. Fourth plebeian, what does he say of Brutus? Third plebeian, he says for Brutus's sake he finds himself beholden to us all. Fourth says, to a best he speak no harm of Brutus here. So by now we find that Brutus has created quite an impression on the plebeians, and till now they are convinced about what Brutus has said. But because Brutus has requested them to stay back and to listen to what Mark Antony is going to say, they have stayed back. But what they are saying is that to a best he speak no harm of Brutus here. That is, it would be best for Mark Antony if he does not speak anything ill of Brutus here. First plebeian says, this Caesar was a tyrant. So by now they are convinced, and they feel that Caesar was a tyrant and he was killed, that was the justice done to the nation. Third plebeian says, nay, that's certain, we are blessed, Rome is rid of him. So one of them say that, okay, we are happy, we are blessed that Rome has got rid of him. Second plebeian says, let us hear what Antony can say. Antony says, you gentle Romans. Plebeians say, peace ho, let us hear him. So by now you know that the effect the conspirators they are having, or they have created on the commoners, on the plebeians. Brutus being the representative, he has delivered a speech, and the effect that has been created is such that they are believing that Caesar was a tyrant, and it is good that we have got rid of him. We will be finishing off our class here for today, and in the next day we will come up to see what Mark Antony has to tell the plebeians and the way he is convincing them. Thank you so much.